Hi, you guys. This is Renata. I wanted to share this article with you guys. It was in the Chicago Sun-Times. I will put the link to the article in the description box of this video in case you want to read it on your own. Most of you probably already saw this. I did not. One of the TIs, Paula, actually sent me the link, and so thank you for that, Paula. So I'm sharing this with those of you who were like me who had not seen it. Okay, again, it was in the Chicago Sun-Times, which you guys know is a very big newspaper. So they have a large platform. A lot of people read their newspaper, and so that was a big deal that the targeted individual subject matter was addressed in their paper. Now, like most articles that I have seen on the targeted individual subject, which there have not been many, and you guys know that, even on the news or online or whatever, we just don't see our subject matter addressed very much. But when I have, it seems like a lot of the times the article or the news report will start out positive, but then it goes left quickly. And that's what I found with this article as well. So this is probably my third or fourth take on this video. I decided not to publish the other couple of ones that I did because I was just far too opinionated, I think, and I'm long-winded like I can be. But I'm just going to try to read this straight through for what it is, okay, and just let you guys decide for yourself. I may give a little bit of feedback, but not nearly as much as I did in the other takes of this video, okay, because I don't want to put my opinion out there too much. I want everybody to come to their own conclusion. But like I said, I have noticed when people write articles on our subject, they always try to discredit us, and that just I don't like that, which most of us don't like that, and so that's why I decided not to publish those other couple of videos, because I just gave too much of my opinion. Okay, so it starts off saying, are you being tracked, or asking a question, I should say, are you being tracked, burned by lasers? Maybe you are a targeted individual. And then this picture is of a past protest some TIs were doing. The author is Neil Steinberg, and it says, strangers are following you, teams of them, coordinating their surveillance, recording you, attacking you with sonic devices, maybe burning you with lasers, maybe implanting grain-sized trackers inside your body. You can feel the hard bumps under your skin. You are alarmed naturally and turn for help to those you trust, your family and friends, maybe law enforcement. Only they don't believe you. They might even act like you're the problem, like you're crazy. Yep, we've all experienced that as targeted individuals. Okay, and then it goes on to say, welcome to the world of targeted individuals, a loose confederation of those, in their words, subject to the growing crime of organized stalking, surveillance, abuse, and electronic harassment. Then he goes into his opinion, and he's going to put some quotes from other people in here, okay? So he goes on to say, I first met targeted individuals last August, passing a protest in the Loop Marketing International, marking International Targeted Individual Day. I took a flyer showing the fearful blue eyes of a weeping woman. Calling spokeswoman Ella Free started with a surprise. So most of you guys know who Ella Free is. She's really big in the community. She has done some really good things in the community. And so he's saying that he called her, I guess had a telephone conversation with her. And he tells you how the beginning of the conversation went. So he says, he says that he is quoting Ella. Don't know if it's true or not, but this is what he says. And this is a quote. A good portion of people who claim to be targeted individuals are actually mentally ill, she said. Okay, I was like, what the heck? Okay, but I know how some of these reporters can be. They'll twist your words. Okay, so, this is what he said that she said. Okay, straight to the elephant in the room. So many of them people have the same story. It's interesting that a person isolated is having a similar scenario. Okay, and then he goes on to say she meant interesting as in persuasive. These people are describing the same thing, therefore it must have basis in reality. That logic doesn't hold up. Okay, and then he goes on to say, this is a quote, I think, from someone else here. People who are paranoid start to latch onto the same kind of delusion, said David Laporte, a professor of psychology at Indiana University of Pennsylvania. This is not uncommon. When airplanes first started, people started having delusions they were being followed by airplanes. The computer has been a huge issue that leaked into paranoid delusions. Every technological advance becomes fodder for paranoid individuals. First of all, this person cannot diagnose everyone as a paranoid individual if this person has not seen all of us. This person is not our therapist. He doesn't know us. Okay? And there are no group delusions, period. I don't care what they try to say. Okay, so then the article goes on to say, I spoke with Free and listened to her interviews on her internet show about how a bad online relationship expanded into obsessiveness, whether hers or someone else's, I'll leave unaddressed. Maybe everyone at the beach was videotaping her. I knew right off this guy had hired these people to do this to me, she said. Maybe the stabbing pain in her leg was being induced. I know that they will give you pains all over your body. I experienced it myself. I knew it was artificial, she said. I thought it was a laser, maybe going off the Wi-Fi. With the president in a state of near hallucinatory grandiosity, spinning wild tales of government conspiracy, and millions of Americans blurring their perception of reality to accommodate him, this outlook seems to be a continuum. Targeted individuals are an outlier, an extreme case of what many suffer. In some ways, they may even be more moderate. Okay, so first of all, this person is trying to say, and I think this is the author speaking right here, he's trying to say that we're having these grandiose hallucinations because the president is, he's calling him a hallucinatory person as well. That is not true. First of all, everyone doesn't even support the president. So he's saying that this is a continuum of what Donald Trump is putting out there. And so we're all buying into it. And we're all having this big group delusion. And we get on the internet to find people like us and, just create this big community of paranoid, delusional people. And it's just not true. This person has not diagnosed me for sure. I don't know this person, never sat down and talked to him, and I'm sure you guys have not either. So this is just another way of discrediting the community. That's why I say these articles, they appear in our favor in the beginning, and then they go left real fast. Okay, so then he goes on to say, I don't think, I think this is a quote from Ella. At least he's saying that Ella said this. Who knows? She probably didn't. I don't know. But he is quoting her as saying, I don't think it's the government, Free said. I believe this is a multi-pronged approach. This is a new criminal tactic. I feel a lot of this has to do with security companies. I started getting followed by strange people. Finally, about a year later, went online, started researching the stalking and harassment, and found targeted individuals and thought, I'm not the only one experiencing this craziness. Okay. So everybody, of course, is entitled to come to their own conclusions about who they feel is behind the targeting. He's quoting Ella as saying that she does not believe that this is government doing the targeting of the citizens. She believes that it has a lot to do with security companies. I agree that security companies are definitely involved. I've seen them in my own targeting, so I know that to be true for my situation. However, I do believe that the government is behind the entire program. I believe that. Some people don't, and that's fine. But I personally do, especially for the fact that you have all these different factions involved in a person's targeting. You have cable companies, you have telephone companies, you have people from all sort of private sectors. You have the first responders, the ambulance, the fire departments, the police departments, the sheriff departments, the highway patrol, school teachers. I mean, just so many different people. I don't think security companies can solely organize all of this. I don't even think they have the power to do all of this, but I believe the government does have the power to do all of this. And I think that this is far reaching. If you were to look at the budget for your city, which it should be open for the public to see, the city's budget, you will see a category. It'll be either black budget or it'll be miscellaneous, okay? And this is showing where all the money for the city is coming from, where, well, cities get allotted money from the government, from big government, okay? And from the federal government, I should say. And I believe that in that black budget or that miscellaneous budget is the funds that fund this stalking. I don't think that's the only thing in the budget, of course. I think there's a lot of, they're allotting the money in a lot of different areas. But I do believe that this targeting is involved in there. I do. And if you look at that miscellaneous budget, a lot of it is redacted and is blacked out, and you can't see what it's for. And they won't let you see. That's confidential. I believe the money that's funding these programs, that's paying these stalkers, and whatever else they do to us, the technology and all of that, I think it's all in those city budgets, county budgets, state budgets. That's what I believe. And I think that it all rolls up to government, but the government wants to be removed so it'll never point back to them, because when the people are getting paid in their gift cards or however they're getting paid, because it's not only gift cards, there's some of them that get gift cards. Some of them get houses and cars and trips and all kind of other incentives to do what they do. But I think all that money's in there, and these people are considered contractors, so it'll never point back to the federal government. It'll, if we were able to follow the rabbit hole, it would probably point to the local government, but we'll never really be able to confirm either way it goes. But that's just what I believe. That's what I believe. I don't think private contractors can just, or security companies can. This is way advanced. This is way advanced. So that's how I see it. But everybody has their own opinion. So leave your comment in the comment section. And where do you think the funding from this is coming from? Do you think government is involved at all? Federal government, state government, local government? Or do you think that is the security companies? I definitely do know that the security companies are involved. I know that because I deal with them with the stalking as well. But I do think that government is definitely involved. I do. Because another thing about government, if they weren't involved, they would help us more. There's so many people who have reached out. I've reached out to my local government for years at City Hall. No help. So if they're not involved, why would they not want to help us? People have written Congress, have gone to the White House, tried to get letters to the president. The only thing we get is chain letters saying, we don't allow the harassment and the stalking and directed energy to people in other countries. Well, we weren't talking about people in other countries. We were talking about people right here. So we don't get the help we need. So that's another indicator for me that government is involved. But, you guys just let me know what you think on that. Okay? So let's keep going because this is getting too long. Okay. They're well organized because of the internet, Laporta said. That's part of the problem. It deepens and entrenches what is probably a delusion. Okay? Probably. I'm glad you used that word probably because it's not a delusion. Okay, and then he goes on to say, note the probably in the previous sentence. Sometimes the improbable does happen. Now here, watch this play on words. Okay, so now they're thinking, this guy has you thinking he's with you again. So he's saying, note the probably is in the previous sentence. Sometimes the improbable does happen. So that gives you hope. Like, okay, this guy is saying, hey, maybe these people are telling the truth. The improbable probably does happen. Then in that same breath, he goes on to say, stalking is real, though usually by individuals, not shady networks. Okay, so there you go. You took everything, all the good stuff you said, you just took it back and saying, it's probably not real because this usually happens with individuals, not, a whole network of people. Okay, lies. It does happen with networks of people. Okay, no one's really actually talked to these individuals in a clinical way to establish whether they are nuts, Laporta said. Anybody who has worked in this field for a long period of time, you hear stories of fantastic delusions only to find out it was true. Okay, another play on words, saying that, when you counsel people, when you're someone's therapist, you hear all sorts of different stories and you hear all these fantastic delusions, but then you find out, oh, that really wasn't a delusion, it was true. Okay, so he's making you think he's with you again. Now check this out. Then he goes on to say, what they're talking about could be true, but it's probably not. You see what I'm saying? When you read, you really have to really understand what the people are really saying, because this guy here is doing a lot of psyops in this article. Okay. All right, let me see, I lost my place. Okay, that's why the sane are always a few steps behind the unhinged. Sanity reflectively, questions itself, while certainty, let me slow down, and delusion go hand in hand. That's a common bedrock of paranoia, a common fallacy, confirmatory bias, Laporte said. We seek out information to confirm what we already believe. Both classic mental illness and current politics seem to share a need for validation from people who feel overlooked, grow lonely enough, and space aliens show up. In other words, if you are isolated and you get lonely enough, next thing you know, you're going to be talking about aliens. You see? That's how they discredit us with these kind of articles. Ain't nobody talking about no aliens, okay? We're talking about being targeted, but they want to throw that in there. You see? Okay. If everything is referring to you, you are special in some way, Laporte said. You are being targeted by the government, by gangs. Then you look at these folks and ask, why would the government, if it had this sophisticated satellite technology, pick these people? They're not particularly special. Ouch. You see why so many lose their hold on reality. It often stings. Okay. Let me go back to this last paragraph. If everything is referring to you, you are special in some way. Okay. They call that, what is that they call that? Persecution, like you have a persecution complex. Like you think that everybody is trying to persecute you. And you will hear that often, especially with these therapists and with the police. They'll often say, why you? Why would people want to stalk you? What have you done? What makes you so special? Why would they waste all that money and resources on you? Why? Why would they use their technology on you? Why would they have all these people stalking you if you're so innocent and you haven't done anything wrong? Why you? That's what they do. They try to say that you have a persecution complex. This whole article is discrediting targeted individuals. It started off nice and innocent, like, yes, we believe it, and these people are saying that this is happening to them, and it could be happening to them, but then in the same breath turn around and say no, they're crazy. So I just want to share this article with you guys. I hope I didn't give too much of my opinion like I did in those other videos that I decided not to post. Because I want you guys to come to your own conclusion, okay? I don't know how much of this, these statements that the author said are factual. I don't know, if these quotes were really said. I don't know, Okay, come to your own conclusion. Please leave your comments in the comment section. Thumbs up this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell in the upper right corner so you can become part of the notification crew. Thank you for listening, you guys.